Whenever you like. Well, hi everybody. I'm so glad y'all were able to come out. This is my first time showing in this gallery, and it's just an honor for me. When I say an honor, I'm amongst all of my friends, my other artists that we all share Kentuck together. It's an artist family and community, and I'm just so honored to be in this gallery. I came all the way from Nashville, which is just down the street really. But I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about this particular series. It's titled Children of God. I've been doing it for probably about 25 years. I've been an artist for 30 plus years, and I'm actually a portrait artist. So when I show these pieces, people are like, oh, she can't paint faces, but I can. I paint in realism, and that's primarily what I do during the year are portrait commissions in realism. But I travel with this particular series, and I have to tell you how it came to be. 25 years ago, I was a single mom, living in Atlanta, going to school, trying to raise my baby, working a job, and I still had a passion for art. But you know, the bills have to be paid first. So one day I just really had a firm desire to paint, and I had a piece of plywood in my storage. So I went and grabbed the plywood because I couldn't afford canvas at the time. So I grabbed that plywood and I painted this beautiful baby with this wild hair. And I said, oh my gosh, this is it. Now my intention was to do it in realism. I started to do a portrait, but once I got the shape of that face in and I stepped back, something in the spirit said, stop, it's finished. And I stepped back and I absolutely loved it. And that was the first one in this series, The Faceless Kids. Now I find that people can relate to them more because they don't have facial features. They see themselves or someone they know in these pieces. And I mean, it's been well received for, like I said, 25 years. I've been traveling and showing these, and people have gotten emotional in my exhibits. They cry, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, what do I do? But so that's how this particular series came about. But I do paint faces, just FYI, if anybody needs any commissions. And you can commission one of these in this style as well. And then as far as the rustic look, the rescued wood, that came out of me not being able to have my work professionally framed. I couldn't afford it. I just could not afford it. So I used what I had on hand, and these patchwork frames, what I call them, came to be. And I've been doing it ever since. And I think that it complements the rustic style of the images. Like, you couldn't have this without the frame. In my opinion, it wouldn't work. This is just as much a part of the piece as the image itself. So that's how it came about, and I hope that you guys enjoy it as much as I do creating it. Any questions? You might have questions. Seth, yes.
Did you bring your first painting to here?
I didn't. You know what? That piece I sold, like I said, 25 years ago, and I sold it for like 25 bucks, and I wish I had it, but no, and I don't even know where the person is. I wish I could track it down. That's a really good question, Seth. I might have to do that. Any other questions?
What other media do you use?
It's actually acrylic. It's a mixed media because on some of them, if you were to touch them, which you can do, there's like a texture medium on the back, and then I paint on top of that, so it's mixed. Anything else? Oh, yes.
Where do you get the ideas for a lot of them? Because it's like a pretty wide variety of poses and different.
It is.
Where do you get those ideas?
Some of them, believe it or not, come to me in dreams. Others, I do use photo references. And like I said, people do commission. They give me their photos. I actually have a collector here. Where's Kate? I'm painting her son and her daughter from a photograph. So it just depends on the situation. Anybody else? Yes.
So is this the one show that you have that tours around and everything else is commission work? Or
Yes.
do you do other?
Yes, I only tour with this series. And you know, in the beginning of my career, I tried to do both, and it didn't. The consistency in my booth was not there, so I decided to just do one. And the portrait is commission only.
Do you have a favorite piece that you did that you could never part with?
I do, and it hangs in my living room. My parents, my mom and my dad, are both freedom riders. And on the 50th anniversary of the Freedom Rides, a local organization in Nashville commissioned me to do a commemorative poster. I have the original hanging in my home right now. And I will never sell it. And God, believe me, people have tried, but I'll never sell it because it represents my parents and what they contributed to, civil rights and me being allowed to do this right now. So I'll never part with it, ever. Anything else?
I have a question for the little artists who are here. Since you're talking about your passion, can you talk a little bit about any recommendations or advice you give about following your passions and how important art is and how they might think of their art?
The most important thing to me is the parent. The parents have to cultivate that desire because that's what my parents did. And fortunately, I have had an aunt, Aunt Polly, who was a professional artist already, which was rare back then. She was doing her thing, and so I got to see an example of a professional Black artist, and that was some female that was doing their thing so close to me. So expose them to things like this. Buy them supplies, and if you can't do that, do what I did. Figure out a way to get it done so that they don't put that passion down. Because if it's in them when they're young, imagine what they're gonna do when they get older. It's gonna be amazing. Anything else? Yes.
Yeah, have you felt that your aunt's work shaped your work in any way?
No. She worked in watercolor and she did portraiture. And even though that's how I started, the styles weren't similar. She didn't use like rescued materials. She was very traditional in her style, and I am not. It was just the fact that she was, that was enough for me to do it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? All right. Well, y'all enjoy the exhibit, enjoy the food. There's pizza and food and music outside. And if you have any questions,
Dayo will be here for a little bit, I think, if you have a couple of more questions that you didn't get to ask. This show is the first in our series called Repurpose, which is our 2024 programming theme, where we're highlighting women artists and their work, and how they speak to their purpose, and also how they repurpose materials. So throughout the year, we'll be exploring that theme. We have another show in our tier gallery, which is in the Clark building. It's called Shining My Religion by Loretta Lynn, and she'll be giving an artist talk in just a few minutes as well, if you guys are interested in that. So thank you again, Dayo.
Quick question. Will y'all take a selfie with me? Is that right now? Like, seriously.